Hi everyone, is it okay if we start? Do we have an MC? Ke tak ada?
Yes, hello, please.
Do we have an MC for this session or not? Or should I just start?
Just start.
Okay. Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so this is a special session with Journal Komunikasi or Jacom. So it's the Malaysian Journal of Communication. We are a Scopus journal and we are working very hard to be in a quartile, inshallah. Okay, so I am going to start my screen sharing. So today, I am the chief editor-in-chief of Journal Komunikasi, and then we also have our journal manager here, which is Dr. Anis. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by saying that I will be explaining about the submission process to Jacom. And if you are from a university or from a school who's interested to publish a special article, special issue with us, then I will also be explaining about the process that that you need to go through. So I will start by sharing my screen. Okay, I see a lot of my students here. Thank you so much for the support. Okay. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay, so how can you submit to Jacom? Okay, it's very easy actually. Okay, and I will start by talking about what is Jacom, and what's the focus of our journal, and the do's and don'ts basically. Okay, we welcome a lot of articles, and we are a pioneering journal for media and communication studies in Malaysia and the Southeast Asia. We started, I think, back in the 80s, and now we have about 31 issues already currently. Okay, so our next issue will be in December. We have 4 issues a year. Okay, the first issue will be in March, and then June, in September and December. So we have 4 issues a year. And it is our mission to actually, be a platform or a space for people to discuss and interpret media and communication issues. Okay. So the guidelines pretty long, to be honest. Okay, it can be quite overwhelming. But it is very important to ensure that you abide by the guideline. Why? Because in the first round of elimination, I will look at this guideline and see if you abide by the guideline. Okay, if you do not abide by this guideline at the first round, your article will be automatically declined. Okay, and I will email you and inform you that you need to abide by these guidelines. Okay, so the first important guideline is to ensure that your manuscript is between 5,000 to 7,000 words, and this does not include abstract, references, or your author's biodata or appendix. So it must be between 5,000 to 7,000 words. Often I receive articles which are less than 5,000 words. And I also receive a lot of articles which exceed the number, the word limit, or the limit of the word count. Okay, I have, in my experience, received like 13,000 words, 15,000 words, 8,000 words, and etc. That is a lot and too much. So what we do actually is to look at the number of words first and eliminate your article based on that. Okay, and the other thing that you must be aware of, or you must abide, is that your abstract must be between 200 and 250 words. It's very important. Again, this is the criteria for elimination, actually. Okay, if you do not fit into 250 words or 200 words, then you do not fit between 200 and 250 words, your article will be again eliminated in the first round. It's not that we are fussy or we are so particular about it, but we need to ensure that it follows the format that we have stipulated and mentioned to Scopus. Okay, so this is quite important. Can you please hold on? Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the distraction. I am so sorry. I am having kids at home. Okay. So as I was saying, so each manuscript should have between 200 and 250 words. And you must list 5 keywords under the abstract. So there are 5 keywords that you should list down. And these keywords should be related to what you have written in your article. Okay, there are cases okay, of people who just wanted to fulfill the 5 keywords and simply just pick some random words, and that is also a cause for elimination, or it made the article, it was declined. Okay, so the article was declined because it did not fit into our guideline. Okay, and this is something new that we have recently introduced, in which we require at least 80% of your citations to be from sources published in recent years. So in 3 years back from the year the manuscript was written. Why is this important? To ensure that whatever you wrote is updated, it's current, it's recent, because remember, your article will be referred to by a lot of other scholars, a lot of other students, a lot of other people. So it's very important to ensure that whatever you wrote is updated, is the most updated version, so to say. Okay, so this is also a point that I comment a lot on. Okay, if you have experience submitting the article to Jacom, and then you get an email from me, so the email would usually during the last final editing process, your article will come to me. And then when I read it, I usually would comment on, asking you to add on most recent citation. There are problems actually that we face, okay, because a lot of people tend to write the article based on their thesis or based on their studies, which were done in, I don't know, in 2017 or 2016. So when they wrote the article, the references that is included in the article are also references from 2016, before 2016, up to 2016. So that is a problem, because question arises, as in, have there are there more recent findings, more findings which is more related, more updated, and etc. So it is very, very important for you to check that your citations are from the most recent, at least 3 years back from when the article was written. Okay, so 80% of the citation. How do we do this? We will look at your list of references, okay, and we will actually count and see if you fulfill the 80% of the citation. So this is something new and just been introduced this year when I took over as the editor-in-chief. Okay, so endnote and footnote are not encouraged. Okay, and all manuscripts must be in Microsoft Word, single space, Calibri font, normal and paper size. Okay, so this is all written in the manuscript guideline. Okay, and then authors should proofread their work and check guidelines and the accuracy of language before submission. Again, this is quite a huge challenge for us, the section editors, the editors, and for me as the editor myself, because when you do not proofread your article, it makes it very difficult for us to read and understand what you are trying to say. So that's a problem. Usually this problem arises when it's an article which is a direct translation. For instance, you wrote your thesis in BM or in Bahasa Indonesia, and then you translated it to English, and then some words are lost in translation, and some sentences are direct translation, which is confusing, could not be understood, and etc. So that is also a reason, or one reason why I would return the article and say that it is declined, because we could not understand what was being said. So it's very important to proofread your work and check that you are accurate in the use of your language before submitting it to our journal. Okay, and then to facilitate the blind review process, please ensure that your names do not appear in the manuscript or in the file name, because what our journal practices the double blind review, in which your article will be passed on to two reviewers. Okay, so you don't know the reviewers, and the reviewers would not know you. Okay, so that's why it's called a blind review. So when you submit your article, kindly ensure that your name does not appear anywhere in the manuscript or the file name. Okay, your name, your designation, your institutional address, anything pertaining to you and your co-authors should be in a supplementary file. Okay, this is to help us make this process more efficient and make this reviewing process faster. Okay, that's the problem that we have actually. The time consumed, the time that we need to spend, the editors need to spend to process the articles to ensure that it can be sent out to be reviewed. So that's the thing that we face. And if you help us to help you, and it will be easier for us to actually do the review and send it faster, and etc. Okay, and then another thing that we would encourage, I really encourage, is that whenever you submit an article, do submit a supplementary file with names of people you would suggest to do the review for your article. So it could be a reviewer from your own institution, or it could be a reviewer from any other institution that you know would be a subject matter expert for your article, for the issues that you raise in your article. Okay, so you can suggest their names and attach this as a supplementary file. This will really help actually. Okay, because we on our part, we do have a bank of names for reviewers as well. But these reviewers, they are asked to review a lot of times in a year. So we are trying our best actually to get more reviewers to be part of our bank of list of reviewers for Jacom. Okay, so these are the manuscript guidelines. Okay. And of course, another thing that we really looked at is to ensure that your work is not plagiarized. Okay, so it can only have less than 30% similarity score on Turnitin. Anything more than 30%, 31%, 30.5%, your articles will be rejected, and you will be asked to rewrite, rephrase, or do some correction and resubmit the article if you wish to publish with our journal. This is very important. But if it is based, from your own thesis, all you need to do is just, supply this with with a letter saying that this is work from your thesis, and it has not been published elsewhere. So that's the that's the thing that you must be aware of. And I'm sure that this is also the same case with other journals all over the world. So there's another thing that we in Jacom pay particular attention to, is that we try not to publish the same names consecutively. For instance, Sabaria published in March. So if I submit another article hoping that it will be published in June, the editor-in-chief would not publish it. Okay, so we try not to publish the same names consecutively. Okay, so there are cases in which there are co-authors. You know how we have a lot of co-authors, and then our second and the co-author's name is also in like 2 articles, for instance. So what we would recommend is that we would write to the co-author or to the main author and ask for the co-author's name to be dropped off the article, because we do not want to have it concurrently or consecutively. So it should only appear once in an issue. Okay, and co-authors may publish in alternate issues only, but we try our very best to ensure that you only publish once a year. Because why? We want to make it more inclusive. We want more people to publish, and we do not want to have this notion that we are crony, or or only publish from certain people, and etc. So that's why we try our very best to be open and accept more publication from different people, okay, and different names as well. So yeah. So how do you, what about like special articles? So special articles is pretty simple. What you can do is that you can arrange and email us to let us know of your interest. But it's pretty hot cake. Okay, special articles, special issues in Jacom has been filled up until June 2023. Okay, so what we do is we usually partner up with conferences, and for instance, the most recent one was ICOMS, or we also we have also been approached by schools, communication and media and communication schools, right, who wish to submit articles with us, and so we arrange that. So what do we do? If you wish to have special articles, we would still need to review your manuscript. We still need to review your abstract. Okay, it does not mean that because you have a special article slot that we would accept whatever article that you submit to us. No. Okay, we would still go to the abstract. In my experience, I have rejected a few abstracts and said, it's not compatible with our journal. So we advise them to rewrite, re-angle, or find other articles to be included for the special articles slot. So special articles slot, of course, cost a bit more than normal articles, or if it's in Malay, okay. But it's about 1,000 ringgit per article, and we try to limit it to 10 articles, special articles per issue. Okay, so regular articles can be submitted regularly through our OJS system, which you can find online. Okay, so what are the topics that we publish? You can read about the list of topics here. Okay, it's quite varied. Okay, there's a list of topics here. It's quite varied. And yeah, so feel free to submit it. Please be reminded though, that just because you write the word media or write the word communication does not mean that your article can be accepted or fit into the scope of our journal. We have had a lot of cases before. The article is mostly about language, for instance, about lexicons or about linguistics. But what they did was they tried to insert the word media and communication and tried their luck in submitting to our journal. So these articles have been rejected as well. There are also a lot of political science type of articles. Okay, so it was more historical, about wars, World War, for instance. But what they did was they tried to insert the word media and communication in the article. They just put it in certain sentences here and there, hoping that it could fit into the scope of our journal. So that article has also been rejected. So we are quite rigorous in our selection process. We actually do read the abstract, and I do skim through the whole manuscript before assigning it to the respective section editors. Okay, so these are the topics or the issues or the types of articles that you can submit. It's quite varied, and it covers a lot of areas in media and communication. Okay, so for regular submission, you can register at this website. Okay, this is ejournals.ukm.my/index/user/register. Okay, maybe Anis can type this link. Can help me type the link at the chat box. Okay, so you need to register first, and then of course with any registration you need to fill in your profile, your username, your password, and etc. Okay, and then you need to select the type of articles. Also, we do accept book reviews, and we do also accept articles. And there are also letters to editors. We have in the past actually also accepted that. Okay, but for the benefit of sending an article, a research article, so to say, you need to select articles. Okay, and then of course you need to go through the submission checklist and tick. Okay, and then you need to fill in comments to editor if you do have a comment, or if you don't have any, that's okay as well. And then you can save and continue. Okay, so how do you upload a submission? You need to upload the submission through the submission file. Okay, you need to choose your file, whatever file that is, okay, and upload. Remember, the submission file should not contain your name. Okay, please ensure that it does not contain your name, or any form of acknowledgement should not be in the submission file. It should be in the supplementary file. Okay, so after you have uploaded the submission, and then you can just save and continue. And then this is just a simple filling in the title and abstract, okay, and references. Okay, and then this is where you upload your supplementary files. Okay, this is where you upload your supplementary files. You can upload it here, and the supplementary files, as I mentioned, should be the ones where you have your name, your designation, and the institutional information. Okay, and then supplementary file 2 should be your suggestions for who you think would be a good reviewer. You can upload more than one supplementary file, so do not worry about it. Okay, and then you save and continue, and then you confirm your submission and just click finish submission. Okay, so what happens after you click finish submission? After you click finish submission, your article will automatically go into our bank or our database. Okay, and then we would have we have a journal manager, so to say. Okay, so what she does is she would go through your article to see if it fits into the format we have talked about, or I have talked about just now, which includes number of words, the number of words for your abstract, and then if it fits into the format, if it has been proofread, it will go through a turn-in system to see what's a turn-in score. And after Umu has go through that, she will pass on the list to me, after which I will read your abstract and see if it fits within the journal's scope. If it doesn't fit the journal scope, or if it doesn't fit into the criteria that we have listed down, for instance, you wrote it in 4,500 words, okay, or you do not fulfill the journal scope, so you will get an email from me to say that your article has been declined. But please do not feel devastated, do not feel stressed, do not feel down when you receive that email, because you should see why it has not been accepted for review. Okay, more often than not, it's because of your format, or because you did not fulfill what we have listed down in our guidelines. So what you need to do, you just need to ensure that you fulfill the guidelines. If I commented that your article has more than 7,000 words, all you have to do is you need to edit it again to ensure that it fits between 5,000 and 7,000 words. And then you can resubmit it to be considered again. Okay, let's say you get a comment in which your article, has a 35% score on Turnitin. So I will write you an email and say that your article has been declined, but if it is still within the journal scope, I would advise you to rewrite your article to ensure that the Turnitin score is less than 30%, and you can resubmit your article to our journal. So it's not the end of the world, I would say, if you receive an email saying that your article has been declined, because we do list down the reasons why it has been declined. So what you need to do is you just need to tackle that. You just need to amend accordingly, and then you can always try and always try and resubmit the article. Okay, another thing that I would love to also let you guys know is that any form of communication pertaining to their journal should be directed to this email address, jkmjc@ukm.edu.my. Okay, please try not to email me personally. I know probably some of you knows me personally, know my email address, know my phone number and all that, but because I do have a lot of other emails to look through. So if you email to JKMJC, we have a specific person to look at your email, to reply to your email, or to remind me that I need to reply to your email on this email address. So please email jkmjc@ukm.edu.my for any inquiries, for any, if you have any question about the status of your article, where is it now and all that, please email it to this email address. I will not reply if you email it to my personal email address. Okay, why? Because I need to keep a record as well, and emailing it at JKMJC would ensure that we keep a record of your whatever emails that you send and all that. Okay, it's quite difficult when you email to my personal email address, or even Dr. Anis's personal email address as well. So please direct any form of communication, questions, inquiries, and etc. at jkmjc@ukm.edu.my. Okay, so after I have gone through, okay, so first is when you submit your article, and then after you submit your article, it will go through a first screening process in which we look whether you fit into the format and all that. If you pass through that screening process, like I said, your article will be passed on to me as the chief editor so that I can look if your article fits within our scope. If you go through that phase, then your article will be assigned to our section editors. So we have quite a number of section editors. Our section editors are not just staff from UKM, not just lecturers from UKM. We also have lecturers from other universities, even Chulalongkorn, and then universities in the USA. And we are constantly as well looking out for other section editors. So if you are interested to be a section editor, please feel free to email us at jkmjc@ukm.edu.my with your resume as well. Okay, what does a section editor do? Your section editor, once your article is with your section editor is responsible to read through the article and determine who are the best reviewers to review your article. So this is where your supplementary file would help, right? Your supplementary file in which you suggest the names of people to review your article. This will really help your section editor in assigning your article to those reviewers or to other reviewers they think fit, right? So they would assign it to the reviewers, and then after that is the waiting game. Okay, or this is a challenge, okay, with our journal. What we do is we do send it for reviews, but it is very difficult to force reviewers to review the article. So we constantly send reminders, and what we do is we send about 2 reminders, and there is still no response, we will start looking for other reviewers to review your article. So that's the challenge, and that's the main reason why you feel it takes such a long time to publish in Jacom. Okay, that's a challenge that we face. So we would also appreciate it if you would like to volunteer to be a reviewer. We would love to have as many reviewers as we can to help us expedite the publishing process, to help us expedite the publication process of your articles. Okay, so after the reviewers have reviewed the articles, they would return it to the section editor, and section editor would return it back to you, the authors. All right, so they would return it to the authors with comments from the reviewers. So at this point, you would either get a submission decline email from your section editor, okay, or you either get a subtext without any correction, or revisions required option. Okay, so it requires you, if you get the revisions required option, you need to do the necessary correction amendments as suggested by the reviewers. Okay, so after you have done that, you can re-upload your article in the OJS system, and your section editor will be informed of that. Okay, so the section editor after that will look through the article again, and then pass it on to me as the chief editor. So I will be like sort of the last layer, or the last phase, the last layer of pair of eyes to look at your article. Okay, sometimes if we do find that you have a lot of grammatical errors, incomprehensible sentences and all that, we do send your articles to a copy editor as well. Okay, but we are trying to slowly stop this process, because we believe that copy editing should be done on your part. Proofreading should be done at your level before you submit it to our journal. Okay, so in the last phase, in the last layer, when I read the article, I would usually, my usual comments, if you have received it before, would be usually, update your references. That is my usual comment, for the references to be updated. As I said, this is something that we just introduced, to ensure that it's 80% of references are from 3 years before the article was written. So this is my usual comment, update the references. Or sometimes if if I feel that there's the data could be written in a better way. I would make certain suggestion, to fit into our journal's style. Okay, so I would make that suggestion, and those are the emails that you would get from me, to make these amendments. So, and then after that, it will go through layout process, and then of course it will be published. So it's quite a lengthy process, I must say. But we are trying our best to expedite, your publication of your articles. We try our best to ensure that the articles published in Jacom is of the best quality. So that's what we strive for, and we are working for, we are trying very hard, to break into the quartile competition, so to say. Okay, so that is the presentation from me. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, or you can also ask Dr. Anis, who's the general manager. She is also, very knowledgeable about the journal. Yeah, quite a lengthy one. Okay, let me see if there are there's no question here. Yeah, do you have any question about the journal article, or about the process? Or if you wish to, collaborate with us, in which, you want us to have, special articles and etc. So this is the time for you to share with us, or let us know. Okay, so there is a question from Badru. How many months at max does the publication take from submission? I would not give a maximum. I cannot say the maximum duration. Okay, because as I said as well, what we tried our very best to do, about half a year. But there are cases where it goes up to a year, I must admit, because of the problem with the reviewers. The reviewers did not respond, and then we had to keep on changing the reviewers. So there are cases in the past that it has gone up to a year. Will you give notification if the paper is accepted for reviewing process? Yes, there will be a notification to say that the paper is accepted for reviewing process. When I assign your article to a section editor, you will get a notification as well on who is the section editor who will be handling or managing your paper from then onwards. Yeah. So I must also be very transparent here that I do get a lot of emails from people who were upset because we took such a long time to process, or to inform if their article has been rejected, has to be reviewed, and etc. Okay, so I must admit we do have those emails as well, but like I said, it's not easy to force or to push reviewers to do the review. So we do try our very best. But yeah, at sometimes we even had to change up to 4 sets of reviewers because we could not get any response from the first 3. So that itself takes a bit of a time. So we really appreciate your understanding in this matter. Okay, Ali Reza, what is the procedure for publishing articles in Jacom after being published in proceedings, either mentioned or other conferences? Okay, so you can publish articles which has been published in proceedings, for instance. What you must ensure is that at least 60% of your article, or is it 70%? I cannot remember the numbers. Maybe Dr. Anis can help me with it, but there must be there must be some additional information. There must be additional references. It must be different from your the ones that has been published in the proceeding. I think it's between 60 and 70% different. So you must change it to ensure that the similarity is only about 30% with your proceeding which has been published. I hope that answers your question. Okay.
That's correct, Dr. Saab. And if you have previously produced this work elsewhere, we would appreciate if you wrote a letter to acknowledge that it's been, say, published as a proceeding or as a part of a student paper or a thesis, so that we know that the similarity is accounted for and it's not related to a duplication of the publication.
Thank you, Anis. Okay, so there's a question from Aini. Dia kata, how long the duration between the notification and the submission? So I try to, we try our very best to make it at least like maximum 1 month from submission to notification. Okay, we try to, okay, because I must let you know that every month we get about more than 100 submissions. So it takes quite a while to go through each and every one, to read it and to ensure that it fits into our scope and the guidelines and format and etc. Okay, is just using OJS or using email for notification, for example, especially about revision, so author must always check the progress in OJS. I mean, okay, so, okay, in the last, in the first revision, after you got it from your reviewers, after the section editor received the reviews from the reviewers and pass it on to you, it will be passed on through OJS, but you will always get an email notification on the email you registered on OJS. So you will definitely get that. Secondly is that once your article has gone through the final process, which is me, okay, the last pair of eyes to look at it, what I would do usually is that I would edit the article on Google Documents, and I would be sharing with you that I would share with you the Google Documents in the email address that you gave in the OJS system. So yes, you should look at your email as well as the OJS system. Yeah. Okay. So is there any other questions? Wait, let me check if there are any questions. Dr. Anis, is there anything that I might have missed that maybe you would like to say, Dr. Anis?
I think you've pretty much covered all of it so far. I would like to just repeat on what you said, that we do invite those who are interested to volunteer to become reviewers with us, also to become our section editors. And if you're interested in becoming a section editor, we would appreciate that you send us a copy of your CV as well. But for reviewers, we welcome it. You can come and register on OJS, put in your research interests, and put in that you want to register as a author as well and a reviewer, so that we can detect you in the system. And yeah, that would be very much appreciated to add to our database. That's all for me, Dr. Saab.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Anis. Yeah, we really look forward to receiving your articles, and of course, we really look forward as well, for your volunteer. Kejap ya, sorry, I have.
Is there anything else that anyone else would like to ask?
Yeah, is there any other questions that we can address here? You know, if you have anything that you would like to ask. So our session was supposed to be until 12, tapi like looks like there's no questions, Dr. Anis.
I think then we can end early.
Yeah, we can end early, and then maybe you can go into the DBP one, you know, for you to get more information about publishing with DBP. Yeah.
That one is in Malay.
How is it Malay?
Yes, Dewan Bahasa.
In Malay, yeah, you are right.
That's correct.
Okay. Oh, for students, because I do see a lot of students here, and I do see students, undergraduate students as well. You are also welcome to submit an article in our journal. Okay, you can write with your lecturers, your supervisors, and etc. So it is not just for PhD students. This journal is not just for lecturers. Undergraduate students have published in the journal as well. Right, so yeah, it's open to everyone. Okay, I think that's it. For now, there are no more questions that I could see in the chat box. So I think we will end it now. So we would have like about an hour break before the closing ceremony. Thank you so much, everyone, for your kind attention and for your interest in Journal Komunikasi or the Malaysian Journal of Communication. Take care. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.